The Independent National Electoral Commission has released a timetable for the conduct of the 2015 general elections, and political activities have already begun. This week's edition of the program features one of the political actors as the nation prepares for the election. Hello there, glad to have you join us on the program this week. I'm Gloria Umezuki. Now, just as the Independent National Electoral Commission has commenced preparations for the 2015 elections, politicians are also putting their own strategies in place. Now, I had an interview with the governor of Kano State on the political activities in the country. But up ahead, a coalition of civil society and advocacy group has expressed satisfaction that the electoral reforms carried out by the Independent National Electoral Commission is working.
This is a meeting of several civil society groups with representatives of the Independent National Electoral Commission. The purpose of this forum include the assessment of INEC's issuance of permanent voters card and the level of citizens' awareness ahead of the elections in 2015. Conveners of the meeting hope to adopt strategies that will encourage greater voters' awareness and participation during the polls. The group is satisfied with steps that INEC has taken in recent times, including the provision for continuous voters' registration and the issuance of the permanent voters' card for the elections.
In terms of managing electoral demographics, electoral logistics, deployment and management of personnel, addressing the collation where we've always had problems, and then transparency in figures. Don't forget, in 2007 elections, Morris Iwu declared presidential election results without having the figures to do so. This INEC has made sure you do not do voodoo anymore with figures. You may contest them, you may say them, but at least you know the process by which the figures were arrived at.
INEC has given assurances. We can only hold it to its words, and where it doesn't deliver, then of course we would draw attention to that. But we want INEC to succeed, and we think that INEC should take seriously complaints where they exist in order to improve its process.
They, however, expressed concern over the attitude of politicians and security officials, which they say could impact negatively on the electoral process.
The idea of a senior politician wielding a machete at an election rally, and the person should be prosecuted. We should call people out for those irresponsibilities that could lead populations to target one another. If we don't do that, then we face a serious security problem with elections. If we can address our security issues, I think the other issues are manageable.
The Electoral Commission, during its presentation, demonstrated how the new voters' card technology will help eliminate rigging during the polls. According to the Commission, people who are unable to collect their permanent voters' cards from the designated centers can pick them up at their local government headquarters before the 2015 general elections in February.
In our interview this week, I spoke with the governor of Kano State, Governor Rabiu Kwankwaso. Engineer Rabiu Kwankwaso, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Well, let's now begin with your view ahead of the 2015 general elections. What's your view about the All Progressives Congress and its chances against the ruling party in the forthcoming elections?
I'm happy to say that since I left PDP, I have been a very, very happy man. I am together with my brothers and sisters, the progressives, people who are determined to bring change to this country, people who have done so much over the years as governors, as ministers, as young men and women in the civil service, and all other sectors. And since we joined APC, we have been working together as a family. And I believe the APC, our party, came at the right time when people are sick and tired of what was happening and still happening in the ruling party. And I'm happy that not only those of us at leadership level, but down the ladder and across the country, in all the 6 political zones, everybody today is yearning for change. Because people have realized that the issue at hand, the issue of security, is very critical. And I believe that APC, governed by its constitution and manifesto, and the caliber of men and women who are in that party, I have no doubt in my mind that 2015, by the grace of God, all the madness that is happening in the northeast, in the north, and even in the south, the APC will come out to ensure that that is stopped. And that is why we are working with our colleagues across the country to ensure that APC takes over in 2015.
All right, now let's find out, before we go further, are you running for the presidential?
2015 certainly is around the corner. And I told you that I left that party because those who were supposed to perform were not performing. And they decided to go to the door or the gate to block it, to allow anything to move in the party, so also the country. And I'm happy this is democracy, and where you have multi-party or parties where people of like minds can live where they are and go to the right places and form a party that can defeat where we left. And that was why we are here now. And I'm happy to say, even though APC is a new party, but it consists of people of very high integrity, people who have a lot of experience, people who have done so much for this country, and they are also willing to do more for Nigeria. And I'm also happy to say that where we are in the party now, especially as it relates to me, I believe this is the time for consultation. I have had opportunities to talk to so many people, and so many people came to me to advise on the issue of contesting to become the president of this country. But what I always tell them is that we should consult, we should talk to the people that are the stakeholders and hear from them. Now, we have reached an advanced stage on that, and I'm happy to say that many of my friends are now in the process of going around to consult people. Maybe they may even come to you or the managing director to talk to him to hear about his opinion, so that we just don't go into it like that. Once we are happy, once we are convinced that the right caliber of people are on board in the support of my candidature, certainly I'll be very happy to be there. I'm happy that everybody now, most of them, are asking me to contest. Yet
and you just might contest?
Yeah, that is a possibility, but that should be after the final reports on the consultations that are going across the country.
So even people like Buhari, who is also doing the same thing, you don't feel any need to step down?
No, you see, we are talking of a national party. This is not a regional party. And from my experience, from 1991, in fact, even before then, during the PF, we have seen how we worked so hard, so also in the SDP, so also in the PDP. Even in PDP, even sitting presidents in 2003 and 2011 had to go through the issue of a rigorous primary election. And I believe that primary election, as long as it is free, fair, and transparent, will only strengthen the party. And I believe that we are working together as a family, together with our elders, especially the ones you mentioned, to ensure that we have primary election, and primary election that will be generally accepted not only by Nigerians, but also our friends across the world.
As someone who is looking towards getting onto the presidential train, so to speak, Why is it that you are establishing a school outside Nigeria? Because that really has brought big questions on the table. What is it about the school being established in Niger?
You see, we have many reasons for establishing a secondary school in Niger Republic. In fact, we intend to establish the second one for girls.
In Niger?
In Niger, which is within the border or very close to Kano State. You see, with the ECOWAS arrangement, which guarantees movement of people and goods across the countries, you find slightest problem, maybe desertification, maybe failure of crops and so on and so forth. You have so many people flooding Nigeria, especially the city and towns of Kano State. And Niger Republic has been a very friendly country to Nigeria. And of course, by the grace of God, Nigeria is blessed. We have so many resources, both mineral and of course human. And whether we like it or not, we have so many Nigerians that are in this country. I think most of them are in Kano. They are enjoying our schools, they are enjoying our infrastructure and so on. I remember during my first term, I think in 2000 or 2001, I met Mr. President, then Olusegun Obasanjo, and I told him our challenge in Kano of too many people from Niger Republic. I was asking him of the solution. He said he had no solution. Most of the things are beyond the individual countries, so people are free to move. Based on that and many reasons, we thought we should establish a school there to assist them. Secondly, to send our own children